Oh, hello there. Yes, well, hurrah, weekend. Damp, hide under duvet day, I think. Very sensibly. I've earned it. Anyway, yes, yesterday my eye was drawn to an article, rare, I know, but drawn to an article in the Daily Mail, which I think is very indicative of a whole bunch of things, which no doubt I'm going to be indicted of things. Anyway, yeah, why wealthy people are more likely to have very tall children. New study claims to have the answers after Gary Barlow's son took the internet by storm. Yes, and there you can see Gary Barlow's son. Yes, sort of in a kind of dressing gown. Oh no, hang on, no, it's the tall bloke next to him. Yes, and astoundingly, the Daily Mail, along with other people, have realised that certain celebs have children that tower over them. And you may have noticed this, maybe even with your own kids, that they do generically seem to be taller than their parents, and indeed especially their grandparents. I have a child, even though I'm not particularly big, I have a child who is bigger than me, yes. Wonder why that is. After all, the other sort of strap line for the Daily Mail is, read more, urgent do not eat warning over Tesco dip over contamination fears. Yes, I imagine these kids haven't been eating contaminated dips. But if you read down and down and down and down and down the article, you arrive at this, which I thought was, well, where we get to the meat of the matter. Pardon the metaphor. A wealth of data shows that children from richer countries are on average taller than those from poorer ones. Ooh. Now, you really could have guessed that yourself, but we live in an odd landscape where you aren't expected to make that assumption, right? The height of British children, and its link to nutrition, became a political talking point earlier this year. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer attacked the then Conservative government over figures that showed the UK's falling in the international rankings for child heights. Yeah, kids, for quite a while, since about 2013, have been getting smaller. Well, I wonder why that is. Must be the wokeists, probably. Yeah, it's probably the teachers talking them down. See what I did there? No, probably not. Anyway, the country's average for 5-year-old girls fell 27 places in international comparisons between 1985 and 2019, below Portugal, Turkey and Brazil. For boys, Britain has dropped 33 places over the same period, trailing Egypt, Haiti, Ukraine and Argentina. Now, if our kids are becoming smaller than kids in Haiti, I would strongly suggest there's something very odd going on, or less than odd. Yes, I do also have to like about the fact that they've put a do you think wealth makes you taller? Yes, no and unsure. Well, let's face it, anybody who is anybody that basically isn't some gibbering wreck is going to tell you that yes, if you feed people well, they'll be tall. It's one of the reasons why people are tall, particularly in places like the Netherlands, tallest people in the world, believe it or not, but they are. They will tower over a little short guy like me, yes. But why is this? Well, it's because people are poorer and they have less food. There you go. God grief, I've said it. But you won't actually notice these things in the newspapers because the newspapers will simply give you, as indeed do most of the rest of the media, this idea that you really need a new fitness regime and maybe you should eat a slightly higher protein content in your inevitable very, very healthy Mediterranean style salad. Yes. But you see, some people can't do all of that, and that's why, generically as a nation, we are becoming smaller and more ill. It's not those Tesco dips that might be contaminated. Because, on exactly this day, yesterday, we had this in the Times, okay? Which nobody really wants to talk about, do they? UK life expectancy worst in Western Europe. Britain has failed to bounce back from the pandemic and its citizens have an average lifespan nearly 3 years shorter than those in Switzerland and Spain. Now, Spain is renowned as being an incredibly well-off nation, but oddly enough, our country is even worse. Yes, we do so well in league tables, don't we, in terms of being the absolute zenith of various things in Europe, like the worst pensions and the worst health outcomes, and indeed, probably for a long period of time, the worst governments, although other places undoubtedly are working at it. And yet this stuff just isn't mentioned at all. It's a non-story. Why? Because it's politically inconvenient. It was certainly very, very politically inconvenient for David Cameron and Theresa May and Bojo Johnson and Rishi Sunak, and even, remember her, Liz Truss. Not going to talk about that because it might be our fault. No, no, no. It's far, 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 far easier to blame it on, I don't know, junior doctor strike or COVID or just lazy people if you want to be Pimlico plumber bloke Charlie Mullins. Yeah, it's just the working classes being lazy and deliberately getting out of work by dying early. Yeah. No wonder their kids are small, eh? Well, yes, maybe. Anyway, we've been dealing with this stuff and it's been a known fact since, I don't know, the Black Report of 1981, sociology fans. And yet, yeah, here we are. It's a non-issue, yeah? It's a non-issue that we as a nation are extremely unhappy and extremely ill and die early, yeah? But let's not talk about that because it might make the government look bad. And that's the issue here. What we mustn't do is make the government look bad. I mean, imagine if Keir Starmer, looks bad and his popularity ratings fell. Be awful, wouldn't it, eh? What can be done about this stuff? Well, all the stuff that people suggest. We could actually give poor people more money and feed children. But, that's just the communist, isn't it, in me talking? It's no wonder people don't want to do that. Imagine thrusting better health on the population. They won't stand for it. Rightly so. Do have a lovely Saturday. Do stay dry. Do snuggle if you can.